don't me like got me up. I want to be live, but I swear not easy. My been rapping my own man, I get it. My get was doing, I'm breaking the profit. On my way, people calling me names. All the trouble I see, I ain't do at the peace. When no suffering, no sources, I can't pay the code. How I get paid. Sooner or later, my hustle pay. Let pay, and I'm rushing myself. Keep it cool, everything have a CC. Too much rushing, I probably chasing. One day. One day. I'll get it cool. One day,
my hustle gonna pay one day. Any mistake gonna see my face. Me pa know I'm not watching it. One day, success gonna come my way. I know my hustle gonna pay one day. Any mistake gonna see my face. Me pa know I'm not watching it. One day, success gonna come my way. Yeah. My mama was so worried. My papa was so worried. My friend was your money. Any mess that will come on that knees. So I on my way. 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 I'm on my way to this place and I'm looking for money. Looking for money, oh. Looking for money. I want me mama happy. Want me papa happy. Want me all my brothers and sisters to come around me.
Hey, Capilico, why you know you hustle? Why saying the book by the Genesis? Shall come to pie, shall come to power. Why I feel be working on Wednesday? In my love for the my, in my love for the my. All in the dark, all in the dark, all in the week, all in the week. All in the sun, the
mama was so worried. My papa was so worried. My friend was your money. Any mess that will come on that knees. So I on my way. 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 Looking for money. Looking for money.
Amando, you are a famous star now. So what do you have to say?
We got something.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tony Commander Glapohkpa Chesson talk show. Today, I'm at Kebe's African restaurant on the other side of Providence. And she is right here. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Kebe McCann.
Now, Kebe has been here for a while, and this is one of our Liberian restaurants. So, Kebe, tell us how long you've been in this spot and why you decided to get into business.
I've been in this spot for 14 years now. I decided to open this restaurant because of helping people, going out and feeding the homeless, and we need a place where the food is cooked. And I opened this restaurant. Since then, I'm still at the same place, 850 Admiral Street.
So how has the community responded to your effort?
Well, the community has responded greatly to my efforts. I do successful feed the homeless, and people have embraced the business, and it led me to move forward to Liberia to open an orphanage for children in Liberia.
Wow, you have an
All
orphanage?
from this restaurant.
You're kidding me.
And because of the customer has been very nice to me and loyal to me, I was able to go to Liberia 3 weeks ago and open an orphanage in my late mother's name, Eugenia Bright.
Wow. Where is the orphanage?
In New Jersey, Liberia, Liberia.
Wow. So what message do you have for your customers?
Well, my customers are very loyal to me, and they are very faithful. They always help me when we're doing the backpack giveaway for children every year, which will soon be coming down end of the month. And then we give the food away, the turkey and chicken in November. And because of the customer, all the tips they leave and all the encouragement help me to promote this business and do what I'm doing moving forward. So I love my customers, I love my neighbors, and I love everybody in general.
We thank you very much for your efforts.
Thank you, and God bless you too.
Thank you too. Let the people see the delicious food you're fixing here.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tony Commander, J.R. Glapohkpa Chesson talk show. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. And today is Friday, November 18th, 2022. We're moving. Well, we're waking up this morning to upper 30 degrees in Providence, Rhode Island. It's chilly, it's cloudy, it's cold, whatever you want to say. Liberian people, y'all keep that temperature down. Right? Please, don't go to 80 and 90 degrees right now. It's not time for that right now. No snow yet. Keep it down. Keep it down to 75. Yeah, you won't go to 76, 77, that's your business. But keep it down. Don't go to 80 right now. Okay? Just keep that temperature down. When I come to your house, I don't want to pass out from the heat. I beg you. Okay. Take heat and cover yourselves. Let's see what's happening in Liberia. But before we go to Liberia, Henry Costa just gave us a big bombshell. Boom! And I was on it, man. I was on it. Henry Costa, our great podcaster, news reporter, the man with the numbers of people, is going back to Liberia. After he escaped a few years ago in the crate, in the cartoon. He's going back to Liberia on an airplane with other Liberians to ensure his security. So he's on his show right now. He's talking about it. So I just had to come on and spread the news, let you know that I'm on that news too, okay? Now, what happened in our country this morning? In Liberia this morning, we see that our Christians are standing up now. We see the Christian community in Margibi County has stood up and took a stance against the senatorial bid of Nathaniel McGill, the sanctioned Liberian. The Christians are beginning to come to their senses. That's our nation. Yes, our nation is free to all other religions, but it was founded by Christians, by people who believe in the 3-in-1 and in Jesus Christ. So it's time for us to reclaim our nation. We do not have to reclaim it by the sword. We can reclaim it by the Bible. So this is our time to reclaim our country. And that's what my topic will be on this morning, because we got to deal with it. Now, with Christians standing up against McGill, you know he doesn't stand a chance in hell. Okay, what have we got here again from my news this morning? Also, Jefferson Knight, one of the directors for Human Rights Watch with the Methodist Church, also came out, and he's too is speaking out. He's saying we must investigate our finance minister, Samuel Twer, and all the religious officials for corruption. There's just too much corruption going on in that one little agency that we need to put the spotlight on it and investigate it. But what the president? The president cannot be for Joey cannot be for no more people. Joey gone. Where in the world you see a president leaving his country for 7 weeks, 2 months? That man doesn't love his country. He doesn't love his people, or he doesn't know his responsibility. He's an immature, useless man. For a man to leave your country for 2 months, even if it was your private company, you will not do that. What? You leave your responsibilities hanging in the air. People dying, people hungry, the government corrupt, going upside down, and the president is gone to watch football game. Can you imagine that? Where in the world does this happen? Only in an idiotic, useless, criminal nation. That's what our country has become. So what's up? What else in the criminal news? Ella Cummings. That boy had just made me weak. That boy judgment is poor. He won't lead. He got no leadership skills. He won't talk. He just talking sort of BS. They see BS over and over. Now here he is talking about he's tribal. He going tribal on us, boy. Boom, 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 boom. And look, come is going to Grable. Boom, 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 boom. You can see people in Maryland. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. And look, come is going Grable, boy. And look, come and say he's tribal, man. Grable people will vote for him. Do you ever see any man looking for a vote like that? This guy is terrible, man. His judgment is poor. He won't vote. He go to CPP. He join you there. They can't agree. He leave you there. He can't join Musa Ability and normally and the people forcing. He jump in the middle of the fuss. He part of the fuss. Oh Lord, this boy. When your judgment is poor, now he behind the Grable people. Did you want the Grable people to follow him because he said he Grable? He Grable? You better tie that guy in a bomber and let him walk to Maryland and Prebo and all of that. Then he Grable. You're tired of bomber on that man. Take out his shirt. Let's see what he got under that shirt, that skinny body. Take out all that thing. Put one big bomber on that man and let him walk from Prebo to Harper. Then he Grable. Yeah? You see how these people wicked? Now, let me go on my news, man. I gotta go on something else. So I told you about Pastor going to Liberia, right? Look at that comment won't be Grable. Our people in Margibi County stood up against McGill. I told you that too. So that's we're gonna deal with that in my crux. Why our Christian leaders and people need to come to free us. Okay, let me put up my topic for this morning and we deal with it. Then I get into talking about my lessons. Devout Christian leaders must pray and strive to become empowered by God to speak up against the massive corruption and free Liberia and Liberian people. We need somebody to speak up for us. So let me take a break. I'll come back. We'll look at what happened in Margibi and we'll talk about my topics. For this morning, okay? This one topic may encompass other topics too, so let's just be mindful of that, okay? You're watching Lucky X Communication 360.
manager of Devout Kitchen, West African, mainly Liberian dishes.
How long has this business been in operation?
We've been in business for about 5 years now.
How has the cooperation of the community been?
It's been pretty much supportive, not just Africans, but also our brothers and sisters of the African American community also been supportive, as well as other African and even other nationalities. So far, so good. We've been having a lot of support from different ethnic groups and different nationalities.
Our devout Christian leaders must pray and strive to be empowered by God to speak up against the massive corruption and free Liberia and Liberian people. This is a necessity. All the talking we have done, the people just getting worse and worse. Our people say worse and worse. They're just getting worse, worse. They're not getting better. Not getting better. They play deaf ears, callous hearts to the plight of the Liberian people. Our people suffering and dying. Our hospitals are depleted of medication. We have empty shelves where people just working. When you go there, what they do? Pray for you. Jesus, I love you. Go sit on there and die. Oh, Jesus, I love you. Your soul will be healed. Oh, Jesus, I love you. Jesus. Then how Jesus works. Yes, we believe in miracles. But miracles don't just come out of faithlessness. We don't believe, but we just call Jesus' name, and think things will happen. It will not happen. It can't happen. We are devout Christians. Our nation was founded on Christian principles. Not because we don't love Muslims, or we don't love Buddhists, or we don't love enemies. We love all people. But our God empowered us to form this nation in the midst of other nations with religions for a free people of all plights, all tribes, all religions. We are a Christian nation. We are a stronghold for humanity. We don't care who you are. We don't care what your principles are. Once you love humanity, we accept you. We accept you. Because that's the foundation of Christian faith. Caring for other people. Charity. Love. That's the foundation of who we are. And when we lose sight of that, that means we have lost sight of our Christian teachings and training and upbringing and doctrines. We have lost sight of them. Because when we lose sight of those things, nothing else matters to us. We become like savages. We don't care about laws. We don't care about order. We don't care about justice. We don't care about meeting all equality. We don't care about none of those things that are pertinent and important to us as Christians. When we lose sight of our beliefs and our principles, we become empty shells. And when empty shells, as empty shells, we are open to frustration, to lies, to bitterness, to anger, to all these negative things, violence, all these things that tear human fabric apart and leave us even more empty than we thought we were in the first place. That is why we have Christian faith and Christian belief. All of us don't go to church. Everybody may not pray every day like some of us. Everybody may not understand the full significance of the Christian faith, like many people who say the Christians. They don't go to church, they don't read the Bible, but the Christians, they just know about Jesus and believe that Jesus is God. Anything happens, you call Jesus' name. You will survive. Because the Bible tells us, just call his name and believe that he's God. You will survive. But if you want a deeper meaning in your life, if you want to understand what life really means, then you got to be connected to your faith. Everybody don't have to be like a priest, going to church every day, wearing white robes, falling, prostrating before the temple. No. Jesus knows all of us can't do those kind of things. It's not possible for all of us. But we have to have a foundation in our faith. We have a foundation in our belief. And what is that foundation? The whole foundation of Christianity rests on kindness, on goodness. That's it. The whole foundation, that what we call charity. Charity could mean kindness. Charity could mean love. Charity could mean forgiveness. Charity could mean peace. Anything that has to do with bringing a wholesome understanding of the plight of humanity together rests on charity. Who we are deeply in. If we are wicked and bad people, like the evil people leading our country, look at them. Look how they're behaving. Christians don't behave like that. Why? Because Christians know you have responsibility for the lives and suffering of other people. And when you understand that plight, when you understand that God has blessed you with power to also enjoy, because power is good, you can enjoy power, but also to have responsibility for other people, to have responsibility for guiding them in the right direction. That's where the blessing comes from God. Because no matter how educated you are, look at all the dummies we got in Liberia with PhD degree. Look at Vani Sherman, or men like that, highly educated, stealing from our country at the lowest level. He has no charity in him. Everything is for money and greed. Charity is for his family and his friends. Everybody got charity for family and friends. The Bible tells us that, because the Bible tells us even Satan will take care of his own children, his own people. He may be bad and wicked to them, but they will love him, because that's the fruit of the tree they come from, wickedness. So wickedness love wickedness. So they were attached to him. But if you're not from that vein, you can't attach to that kind of wickedness. Like some of us, we see the corruption going on in Liberia. We see the murder going on. We can't accept it. I can't accept it. I left Liberia in 1980 because of that. Our ID card director, our legal counsel for the Treasury Department, I was taking home $1,000 after taxes in the 1980s on the door. When they take my taxes off, a young boy, I was 25, 26, I would go home with $1,000 because I had a law degree. I knew what I was doing. The money was plenty. So now, when the first time I got my pay, I didn't know what to do with the money. The money was so plenty. I said, whoa. I go, I came from $400, $500 as a director. I don't steal. I'm not going to punish, I'm not going to put people down to take money from them, exploit people. I can't do that. Ask people who know Rodney Chesson. I don't do those kind of things. They're not where I come from. They're not me. To exploit people, to be a moonshot on people, to deprive people, evil. That's not me, man. I ask people who know me. That's why when I see injustices, I leave it alone. I say, no, I won't be with you. Let me take my path. I drop everything. When I see corruption, I see lies, I see deceitfulness, I drop it all. Bam! I'm gone. I don't want to be in that thing. I don't want to be there. I don't care who you are. That's one of my Christian principles I stand with. If your left hand offend you, cut it off. You don't have to stick with them. Move on. The Holy Spirit will protect you. God will guide you and lead you. You don't need nobody else. I just tired with the corruption and the stealing and the wickedness. I just tired with it. All my life in Liberia, I see people stealing from family, people stealing from friends, people stealing from country. Everything is stealing. Everything is stealing. It's serious. Everything I see as a lawyer, why you think I'm so disgusted? Why you think I never wanted to practice law in Liberia? What kind of law you can practice in that kind of system? The system is corrupt. Too much nepotism in Liberia. Too much people involved with family shit. And that's why our country don't go on straight. We need people to set our country apart. Tottenham destroyed us, man. Tottenham made us. I don't know if we can really blame Tottenham. Who do we blame? Tottenham himself didn't know that much. Tottenham was a high school graduate. So all he thought about was power. Consolidating power for himself. He wasn't well learned like Tottenham wasn't well learned like Tottenham. Tottenham wasn't well learned like Talbot. Talbot was well learned. That was Talbot wanted to change certain things Tottenham did because Tottenham did it out of ignorance. Because he didn't know any better. Because that's the way he was raised to protect himself. And some of those things he did. When Talbot got there, Talbot was enlightened. Talbot saw things different. But he was weak. You can't be so enlightened. You threaten your own government. You can't cry when there's crisis. And that's what Talbot did to us, man. When the Red Riot went on, Talbot came on the radio and cried. Oh, my lecturer, yeah, don't do that, lecturer. When you're a president of a nation, you come and you see, that's why I blame Talbot too. I blame Talbot for all these things. Yeah, Talbot may be good at all, but he did some terrible things for us too, man. He brought Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and all these socialists into our country to be young leaders under him. We're all vetting them. He just brought all of them in. He didn't know whether they were honest, whether they were trustworthy, whether they were deceitful or not. He just brought all the young people, made them ministers, made them. I told my father, for all of you people who have been following me here on this show, my father and I talk a lot about politics because I'm a political science student, and my father was leader of my country. So every time I had around my father, I was around my father a lot. The people almost killed me because they thought I was my father junior. They thought I was junior. Because my father wanted me around him too. Because when he found out that I was into politics, and I understood the politics of my people better than him, my father wanted my opinion. I told you all one time I was in the car with him. We were in the same Buchanan before the coup. My father wanted me to go to Buchanan. I just come down from Cotton for vacation. As soon as I hit the house, my pa and the security and all of them were getting ready to go to Buchanan because there was a riot in Buchanan. They were right before the military coup. That's why I led to the coup too. There was a big riot in Buchanan. The miners brought all the equipment from the mines down and they refused to work. Buchanan was in an upheaval. They had soldiers there, what they got him, Estrada Bernard, was labor minister there. My cousin, my father's first cousin, he was there with the soldiers and Finley, all of them. Finley was senator for Bassett County. All of them were there. And Talbot ordered my father to go there because there was insurrection. Unrest. So he said, Minister, you go there to make sure that everything is under control and this investigation goes on peacefully. So I just come from Cotton. I came from Cotton. My pa was getting ready to go. He said, you want to come? I said, yeah, I want to come. So I jumped in the van, in the truck with him. That was my father, the security, the police, and myself in the back. We headed to Basel. When we got to Basel, they gave us, me and my pa, a bungalow. His room was right opposite mine. So while we're in the room, I was attending all these meetings with my pa. In the first place, I told him about corruption. They were the first place me and my pa talked about corruption. When I heard Estrada Bernard interrogating the Swedish people, whoever people were in Basel about not paying the workers their overtime. I think it had to do with overtime. They weren't paying the workers their overtime. Then they wanted to screw them on the overtime again and not pay them enough. So there were all this investigation. The people were pissed off. They brought the equipment down. So Estrada Bernard were in there as our labor minister, talking with the people, laughing and joking. And I was sitting down there. I couldn't make heads or tails where this man was going and interrogate them. The only man that seemed to rather be hitting these people hard was Joe Finley, who was senator for Basel County. I mean, you were hitting the people so hard, the people were complaining, "Oh, Mr. Minister, you got to tell the senator and he can't be doing this." And I was just sitting down there in a meeting. I was privileged to be there because of my pa. And I was just laughing because I could see the exchange. You could see the corruption. Every time Estrada Bernard wanted to interview the people, they were fun and laughing and joking. But every time Finley threw a question in there, they were pissed off because the question had to do directly with the people pay. So why are they with the people pay? All they did fun and game, but why are they giving the people money? Then they want to hear that. No, Mr. Minister, you can't. The senator came with some more power in there. Then they took a break. Me and my pa and this where Wilfred Clark, who was National Security Chief of Liberia, he got in the car with us. So it was Wilfred Clark and myself in the back, Chesson and the police driver in the front. So we're going and Chesson were talking to Wilfred, so they were talking about the meeting. So just then I decided to interject and let my father know how I felt. So I said, "Daddy, you know what I noticed?" As soon as I said that, Wilfred Clark started to talk. Then my father said to Wilfred, "Wait, Wilfred, let me hear what my son got to say." That was the first time of all the time I've been telling my pa about politics, that the first time my pa ever stopped a government official from talking to hear what I had to say. And I told him straight. I said, "Daddy, Estrada Bernard is corrupt." My father said, "What?" That's an allegation against a government official. My father took that serious. He turned to me and said, "What? What are you talking about?" So I said, "You didn't see how you were asking the question to those people? The people were just laughing, and it was jovial." And when I said that, my father just kept quiet. He couldn't say a word because he knew that what was happening in there. And I was telling him, I said, you couldn't tell the difference between the question Finley was asking him and the question our cousin Estrada was asking. Estrada is corrupt. I told him straight there. I said, "Your cousin is damn corrupt." My father, they were quiet, man. When we got home now, after we got home, we got into a different bucket load. That's what I told him. I said, "I go out." It was one about, after the thing we got home, we ate and everything. Then we got home, it was like about 5:30, 6:30. I said, "I'm going out." I got to go out in the Buchanan, man. I walk on the beach. Man, the guys were shooting. All on the beaches. You couldn't hear where my pa was living because he was way on the inside of this, in the bungalows, up to the high rises, the rich people quarters. But when I left the quarters and came down into Buchanan itself and walk on the beaches, and I heard the soldiers shooting. Those guys were going wild, man. And then as I got to the nightclub, man, I saw all on the road, from the top of the road to the end, nothing but soldiers, drunk, filtered drunk, they're all of them on the road. They brought them out of the nightclub, drunk, and just laid on the road. And as I was walking in the nightclub, they were bringing those guys out drunk. The other ones that weren't drunk were on the beaches shooting. I said, "What?" I look at the guys. Then I turn around. I said, "No, I gotta go tell my pa this thing. This ain't right. This is national security." So I left the place. I started walking. As soon as I got on the street, two of them put me at gunpoint. "How? Where you going?" You see, if I were now, I would have been scared like hell. But that would be before we learned about violence. That would be before we learned about the hatred among us. When those guys told me to halt, I told them, "What you guys doing, man? We're here to protect the people, and you're going around shooting and telling people how." Those guys look at me and they recognize who I was. Listen, man, get the hell out of here and go home. The guy told me, shut the hell up, get the hell out and go home. I just shut up. Because if I thought the guy was beating me, then how would my power help me? The guy was drunk. Shut up and get the hell out of here. I said, okay. I just shut up. I crossed the street. I walked on the street and I walked straight. I went home. I got home. It was about 9, 10 o'clock that night. I went straight to my father's door. I knocked the door. Boom, boom, boom. He opened the door. I said, Daddy, they're going to overthrow you. I told him straight. That was my fifth or fourth time over telling him they were going to overthrow them. All the other times I told him that, he said, oh, you little boy, you don't know, we got Vanny Dempsey, police, we got Wilfred Clark. I was looking at them, I said, man, I know Captain Jebbo. None of those guys can stand Captain Jebbo. I knew Captain Jebbo. I was friendly with Captain Jebbo, the man that played the coup in Liberia. That wasn't Dole that played the coup, that was Captain Jebbo. And I knew Jebbo well. And I knew Vanny Dempsey, Wilfred Clark, were no military men compared to Jebbo. Jebbo was a soldier. So I just laughed and but when I told my father about that, he got up at night and called all the security chiefs. I told you this before. And he demanded they come to his room that night. At 10 o'clock in the night, all of them were pissed off. Oh, Fred Blair was pissed. Vanny Dempsey was pissed. Wilfred Clark was pissed. All of them were pissed. I didn't give a damn if they were pissed. They all came there. Well, Mr. Minister, what's all wrong? They said, oh, my son went on and saw the soldiers shooting on the beaches. He said, then it started. Those guys, you see why they died? You see why the guys died? My pa telling them that I want to be, that all of them turn around want to jump on me. We're running through all the time of the night. We're running through our self-security. You know the. So I told them, I said, man, you give me a break, man. Y'all give me a break. Like I said to them, I said, y'all give me a break. My pa looked at me. He wanted to smile. I said, y'all give me a break. Who the kid around here? Y'all see me like a little boy? I'm a college student. And you're telling me I can't go out at night? What kind of, oh man, I blasted them. And you know, most of the guys that were in that room, they killed them. They killed Fred Blair, they killed Vanny Dempsey. I think Wilfred Clark was the only one that lived that were in that room. They killed all the other guys. For the same reason I was telling them. But some of them were traitors, man. Because the same Fred Blair who were in that meeting there, when the coup happened, Toba called the unit, the 1st Battalion, which was at Shuffling. Shuffling is 1st Battalion. Toba was on the radio calling 1st Battalion to come to the mansion because shooting was at the mansion. By that time, they hadn't reached upstairs to Toba yet. They were shooting Colonel Rayleigh, and the mansion guard were fighting them on the ground. There was a lot of shooting on the mansion ground. And Toba heard it upstairs. He called my pa on the radio. My pa was Unit 10, I think. He was Unit 10. Because Toba was Unit 1. He said, Unit 10, they're shooting the mansion, And my pa told him, he said, call Shuffling, let the soldiers come down. Toba called Shuffling. Fred Blair was the commander of Shuffling. Fred Blair refused to move the Shuffling guard. He said Toba brought the Guineans over the Liberian soldiers, so they were not coming to defend him. And they didn't come. So the hard Toba was overthrown. Shuffling soldiers refused to move. They did not move. So they killed Rayleigh. They went up there, they killed Toba and took over our country. But I just bring all these things because a part of our history some people don't know about. Some of us were privileged with this kind of history. And everything that happened during that coup time, God bless me, I was privileged to most of it. So I told you already my book already finished. I just want to do it for Liberia schools, for people to read it in Liberian schools and learn about it. I wrote it first as a novel, but I want to change that and I write it as an actual literary historical document so people can read it in schools and learn what my experiences were from 1980 until I left Liberia in 1985. But those were some of the things that happened. And the foundation for all of this that's been happening in Liberia from our inception is our Christian community. Our Christian community has been the foundation of holding and for holding Liberia together. Because as Christian, that doctrine was spread to the length and breadth of the Republic of Liberia. I remember while growing up, many of us, you said, were majority Muslims. Yes, at that time, majority of the Liberian people were Muslims. We were just a few Christians. Now today, we can say the majority of Liberians are Christians. What an amazing turnaround. That just demonstrates the extent of the Christian work that people done, the Christian community in Liberia has done to spread Christianity to the length and breadth of our republic. It's a great thing. We have come a long way, and nothing been with us but our Christian faith. Look to our history. Every time our country felt despair, every time our country felt under attack, every time we faced enemies that we could not confront, we were delivered by the hands of God. When the Germans wanted to bomb us, World War I, World War II, we survived. All the calamities going on in Africa, we survived. All the negativity in our country survived. Over nearly 200 years now, with all the problems we have, with all the tribal issues, with all the fighting and killing, with all the negative, we still call ourselves one people in one nation. This is a blessing. If God wasn't with us, look at all the African nations that have changed. Sierra Leone and Liberia remain almost the same. Ivory Coast, Guinea, this whole region remain almost the same. Because this is a blessed area of Africa. And we maintain that through our Christian faith and beliefs and actions. Even when we don't act, it impacts our nation, our people. So we have a responsibility to resurrect our Christian faith, our Christian duties and responsibilities to the Republic of Liberia, because we have tried everything else in the field. Everything else in the field. So our Christian leaders, those that are devout Christians, must understand that you have a responsibility to all of us. You have a responsibility that when you pray, you don't just pray for yourself, you pray for all of us. And you interject on behalf of all of us. Because our country going too far backwards, man. Ourselves been questioning whether we have the ability to bring our country back to where it should be. With all the stealing, murdering, corruption, with all the wicked people leading our country, people that Prince Johnson, all these murderers, these hardcore killers, still leading our country over us. Where is our God? Where are our clergymen that say they love God? Well, I take up my hat to the people of Mahagiri County, the clergymen who have stood up and said enough is enough. We will not support McGill. He's against the benefit and interests of the Liberian people and Liberia. And these people have stood up and made it known. Now it's a clarion call to all Christians of Liberia that we are being held responsible and accountable to speak out and change this corrupt, evil state of existence in our country today. We are held responsible and accountable for that as Christians. And we must rise and do our Christian duty without failure. We must stand up and speak out and move, act with due diligence in the interest of our country and people. If we don't do it, it's on all of us. But the time of the Liberian people is now. I've spoken enough on this topic, but it's necessary. Because as Christians, if we forget our Christian roots, our Christian doctrine, our Christian faith, and our Christian motives, our nation will continue to fail. And it's just good that God illustrated all of this through these pastors and Christian leaders in Montgomery County coming together and saying enough is enough for us. We will not support a criminal who has been sanctioned by our foreign government to be our senator. Enough is enough. Now let all of us rise up. Let all of us Christians garner that faith and say, no, enough is enough. This government must go. Let's rise up. We can do it. Pray, and let God empower us to do it. If we don't do it, these criminals and useless bandits will just rob us blind. The time of the Liberian people is now. Aluta. Continua. My class is done. Let's play some ads, then I'll be going on to my regular business. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tony Commander J.R. Glapohkpa Chesson. I'm on Broad Street this morning at the Island Restaurant. It's a Jamaican-owned restaurant that has been here in Providence for a little while, I think. But before me, I have the proprietor. Good morning, sir. Could you tell us your name and how long this restaurant has been here?
I'm Ricky. We've been here over 5-6 years. Me and my wife. We started out a Jamaican restaurant, Caribbean. We're in front of 3 high schools, and we did burgers and fries, and that's now one of the most popular items here, like burgers and fries. So all the kids from the high school, they come here after school for lunch and then after school. So this place is packed during the day with kids.
So you get a lot of support for the community.
Yeah.
Well, I want to wish you the best, and we'll spread your news about this restaurant further, so probably your clientele will increase.
Thank you for that.
Nice meeting you, Ricky.
Thank you.
And have a good day.
You too.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's my show for today. I wish you all have a good weekend, and be here tomorrow morning to boogie with me. Ha! And Tony Commander J.R. Glapohkpa Chesson. Class is done. I'm out of here. See you tomorrow morning.